Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Meteorologist Peyton Garrison here. I just want to bring you an update on the dangerous heat threat that we are tracking throughout this week. We've got first alert weather days in place today, tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday for that dangerous heat potential. But now we have new developments in terms of the heat alerts that we've been talking about. We have to reach certain criteria in order to see heat alerts go into effect here in the Midlands and really anywhere in the country. And we actually now have a heat advisory in effect for every single county here in the Midlands. Now, this is for tomorrow. This is not for today and this afternoon's hot weather, but tomorrow from 1 o'clock in the afternoon until 8 in the evening, we'll have a heat advisory in effect for every single county. And in fact, a pretty big chunk of the state as well. This extends towards the CSRA and the upstate, even along the North Carolina border. And really for much of the Carolinas as a whole, we do have a heat advisory in effect. Now, what this means is that heat index values tomorrow during that time frame, but especially during the peak heating hours of the day, think 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the afternoon, even up to 6, we could have feels like temperatures between or as high as 108 degrees. So again, it's going to get really hot here the next couple of days. I think tomorrow and Wednesday will probably be the hotter days that we see this week. Feels like temperatures are on their way to that number again, probably towards tomorrow, but I mean, it's pretty steamy out there nonetheless for today. This is actually a look at current feels like temps. On the map right now, we have a heat index value of 100 degrees in Columbia, 101 in Sumter. We'll probably all crest above that 100 degree mark at some point this afternoon. So just know it's going to be very, very hot, very steamy through at least 4, 5, 6 this afternoon. Heading into tonight, of course, we'll briefly cool things down, really not by much, but look at feels like temperatures into tomorrow afternoon. This is when they'll likely crank up even more with that heat advisory going into effect. Heat index values cresting near 108 degrees. It doesn't look like every single location will see 100 degree or 108 degree heat index values in the afternoon, but we will all have just about the potential of seeing heat index values that high. So very important that as we're going forward through the next couple of days and really starting now that we are taking this heat very seriously. We're being smart. We're being safe when spending long periods of time outdoors, especially if you're one that works outside. Maybe you do lawn work. Maybe you just, are out in general for frequent amounts of time in the afternoon, that you are staying hydrated, you're drinking lots of hydrating fluids, you're taking those breaks indoors when you can, because the heat can be dangerous again if you're not taking extra precautions. So we're going to be tracking this heat very closely up until around Thursday. That's when this stretch of first alert weather days goes to until the Midlands. We'll see some relief later on this week into the weekend. That's when this strong ridge of high pressure, which has allowed for temperatures to heat up quite a bit, actually near record breaking at times, that's when we'll likely see the return of closer to average high temperatures and a slightly better chance of rain on a daily basis. So we are going to be watching again the weather very closely here in the First Alert Weather Center. Make sure you have the free First Alert Weather app downloaded on your mobile device to stay on top with any changes on the weather. Again, First Alert Weather days until Thursday with this dangerous heat. We're going to be back on air with another update on the weather and, of course, your top news stories of the day starting at 4. Hope you will join us then and have a good afternoon.